Thank you, Judith. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Your Excellency, Pak Menteri Bahlil, for inviting me to be part of this investor forum. I think I'd like to go back to where in my view, how it all started, especially in today's world. After the global pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic that hit all of us, right? It has really reshaped how policymakers, how business interests, as well as economic players and society view business and investors as well. So to me, the pandemic has actually underscored the importance of sustainable development that now goes beyond just looking at financing or financial returns, but now emphasizing as well on the protection of jobs, the protection of livelihoods, as well as looking at the broader socio-economic fabric. So to me, this is a defining moment for us, as ASEAN as well, highlighting the significance of a concerted effort towards ESG investing, is what you said today. And I also agree with what Pak Menteri from Brunei, Amin, about the importance of all the linkages as well, all the way from why FDI has a correlation to DDI, the SMEs, and of course, eventually to the people, to the rakyat. On sustainable investments in ASEAN, I've got some numbers here, but what we all know today is that any governments today, looking at the fiscal space, they will not have enough to fund, right? To fund the investments that's required when it comes to ESG investments. So we do need to ensure that on the public side, the public markets are also involved. That means mobilizing private capital. So today, from what I've seen today, including bonds that are aligned to the SDG standards, in ASEAN, we have reached actually an impressive close to $37 billion by 2022. That's a huge amount. And it also signifies the increase in demand by investors as well. So in relation to Malaysia's commitment to ESG, yesterday we launched our National Industrial Master Plan 2030, where we put out there, the importance of sustainability, the importance of course, economic complexity, digitalization, but to be in line as well with the ESG principles. The NIMP is similar to what Brunei is doing. We are emphasizing the domestic industry as well, the DDI, and the correlation with the FDI. And what we don't want is what Pak Bahlil said just now. What we don't want is that, the FDI that comes in end up operating like a own enclave without the involvement, and it's in isolation to our economy. What we want is the participation of the local industries that will benefit people. And Malaysia will be launching our industrial ESG, National Industrial ESG Framework, sometime next month. This framework will provide the clear guidelines to industries regarding transitioning towards ESG compliance. On the investor roadmap, we also launched an investor roadmap recently, and we actually collaborated with the United Nations for this. We launched the Malaysian SDG Investor Map, where we look at investment opportunity areas and see where are the areas that investors can come in and where they can tick all the 17 SDGs in terms of compliance. And in Malaysia, we have actually identified about 15 IOAs within 6 sectors, and we hope that this will then track SDG-aligned investments. So by integrating all the ESG priorities, we want to, of course, be together with our ASEAN partners to be the destination for investors to come in. And we've seen what Ibu Armida said today about ASEAN being number one in terms of investment coming into this region. And we, together with our other government-linked investment companies, we have the likes of Khazanah, EPF, PNB. They all also have signed the UN principles of responsible investments. And in fact, they were one of the first few to sign initially. My last point, of course, we have our net zero target by 2050, etc., etc. But my last point is, again, a point that I want to echo what Pak Balil has been saying. In fact, he was saying that in Semarang as well recently. When we look at sustainable, responsible investing, there are challenges, right? What we don't want to see is that this ESG agenda is not used as non-tariff barriers, right? We don't want certain blocks to use ESG compliance, high ESG standards, but actually what they want to do is to protect their own markets, right? This is what we don't want to see, because this could hamper trade growth. So for Malaysia, we want to work together with ASEAN to overcome these challenges, and we work as a bloc. And again, I agree with what Pak Balil's speech said just now, how Malaysia, Indonesia work together, for example, on the CPO challenges. We went to EU together, Indonesia, Malaysia together as two big exporters of CPO. I think it was about 80% of total global market share. So here we can actually play a role together, working, ensuring that our industries are not being marginalized in the name of ESG. So thank you. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Tengku.